Chinoy TV is brought to you by Oishi. You might have heard of him as the man behind those big blue shopping malls. Yup, the ones you grew up in hanging out with your family. You probably know him as the richest tycoon in the Philippines for 11 consecutive years. Oh, you didn't know that he held on to that streak for that long? Well, you might never have met him, but you could probably reminisce the classic story about his humble beginnings.
Not only he is one of the top rags to riches entrepreneurs in the Philippines, he is the most successful businessman of his generation. Up until the time he died, he was the wealthiest person in the Philippines. He is looked upon by media, other business people, as the paragon of business success and entrepreneurship in the Philippines.
There you go, the most inspiring rags to riches tale we've ever heard, right? Lastly, you probably call him
Tatang.
Tatang.
right, Tatang Henry Sy Sr. The point is, we still have loads of great things about the late patriarch to invest our attention to. It's certain that Tatang left us with so much to remember and discover. Behind the empire he owned, behind the city he built, behind the famous success story, behind the billionaire name, there lived a simple man with huge dreams for his family and for the Philippines. This is Tatang Untold. Perhaps it's not really a trivia to tell people that Henry Sy was not born here in the Philippines.
He and his father were both immigrants. His father was an immigrant, sari-sari store owner in Quiapo, and he also came to the Philippines at the age of 12. The family business was wiped out because of World War II. The father was depressed, went back to Fujian, China. He started all over again.
Now that's a trivia. Just like most of us, little Henry took the fresh steps into the real world through education. And there's an interesting story behind it.
When he was young, was very poor, and actually could not afford to study. When he came here at the age of 12, he asked his father if he could study. And so at 12, he was in grade 1. He studied morning and afternoon just to get accelerated.
He studied in Chiang Kai-shek College, finishing his secondary education with flying colors.
We are very proud of him to be our alumni. As the president of the Chiang Kai-shek Alumni Association, Mr. Henry Sy not only inspires me, but also the whole school community. I think Mr. Henry Sy Sr. embodies the mission of Chiang Kai-shek College, which is education for excellence, geared towards a united Filipino-Chinese community, equipped with the basic academic skills, wisdom, the virtues of propriety, righteousness, incorruptibility, and honor, committed to nation building and international concern.
Let's now meet Dr. Lydia Echaus. She is the former president of Far Eastern University, where Tatang ended college, and she also did a study about him. So what could be the conclusions of this research?
The dissertation was the management style and philosophy of Henry Sy. And I got the daughter, Tessie Cosom, to agree for me to survey all the executives. And Mr. Sy himself was a very good subject. I observed him for some time daily, and I'd follow him from morning till the end of his day. He was indefatigable. The guy never got tired. I got tired observing him, and he would explain everything. When I walked into his room, he would put down his things, and he would tell me about his life, his philosophy, the way he did his business. He would talk about his family, his friends. He kept relationships long, and he was a very good judge of character. He is a very disciplined man. His character is amazing. He focused on self-mastery. He had a vision. He wanted to do something big in his life. He was adventurous. He was bold. At the same time, was very thoughtful, deliberate, and very observant and perceptive. So that combination is fantastic. To him, the most important was trustworthiness, which meant integrity, which meant character. And his life was very steady in many ways. He did not seek fame. He just wanted to make things happen. He had a vision for his life, for his family, and he actually realized all this imaging that he did. He called them dreams. He called them dreams, but it was actually imaging. Like a lot of things that he developed, he dreamt of them, he thought of them, maybe 10, 20, 30 years earlier. And he achieved all his dreams.
They say that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Henry Sy Sr. is a testament to that.
Because of his experience, he decided that he would help marginalized young people to study. Actually, there are a number of outstanding businessmen coming from FEU. But, you know, he is the icon, and FEU is very proud of him. And I always thought of him as a worthy creature of God. Nothing wasted with him. Not his time, not his energy, not his ideas, not his vision. He was a worthy creature of God.
Up next, get to know the right hand of the country's most famous taipan.
Chinoy TV is brought to you by
West Avenue Suites, Oishi, Albert Abaya, Macron Trading, Gyokyan Garcia, Jimmy C, Victor Lim, William Gosiaco,
BA Securities, your trading partner in Asia Pacific.
A few events after his first job is where our favorite rags to riches tale began. He started selling rejected and overrun shoes that soon took him places. In 1958, he established a small shoe store named, well, it's not supermarket and definitely not shopping mall. It's called Shoe Mart, thus SM. Shoe Mart in Quiapo eventually.
SM is the benchmark of Philippine retail industry. The best way to know more about its stellar history of success is through Tatang's most trusted general and the new SM Investments chairman, Mr. Jose Siok. But first, how did they meet and decided to work together?
I was a partner of Sisig Corres Belao, SCB, and I was handling the Shoe Mart among the clients. So, being the auditor, I have to ask so many questions. Maybe he get tired of my question, then he told me to sit down next to his room. I think at that time he has already a vision to say that I have to grow, but I cannot do it alone. I should have good people working with me. People who can work hard and who can be trusted. That's why I started being close to him. He feels that if he can sell shoes to every Filipinos, then he could also at the same time serve the Filipino communities and make his business grow.
A few more years of constant dedication and hard work put him in different places, literally, as he was able to branch out and eventually build the very shopping malls we've been enjoying up to this day.
Transition from a small department store and to a bigger format of a retail space is the product of the vision of a man, Mr. Henry Sy Sr. During that time, he travels a lot, travels abroad, and he already see the phenomenon of a bigger retail space in other countries, especially in the US. And so he said that this will be the phenomenon of the Philippine retail industry.
From a mall department store in Quiapo, Tatang envisioned to build the first supermall in the country, hence the birth of SM North EDSA.
In fact, when he started the North EDSA, many bankers and many businessmen have expressed their skepticism because shopping mall is not known yet in the Philippines. So she is proven right. All the skepticism is just accepted. The vision become a reality.
SM North EDSA is a success. It became the focal point in building more supermalls across the country.
In all our malls, if we have a digestion period, maybe 2 to 3 years, to reach the level of the projected market. In the case of North EDSA, being the first mall that we have, it took us a little while because we have to educate the consumer. We have to educate, as I said, our people. So it took us about 4 years to reach the level of what we expect it to be. And today, North EDSA is the #1 malls among our 72 local malls in the Philippines.
It's no doubt that every businessman experiences setbacks, and Mr. Sy wasn't an exception. He had a fair share of failures that only made him more persevering. The SM brand doesn't stop there. They've entered in different businesses from banking to real estate and literally got it all for you.
The bank was formerly a savings bank owned by Ayala, Acme Bank. Then it became Banco de Oro. The initial concept of the bank is to service internally, so that will be easier financial transaction. Over time, it branched into into commercial bank and Unibank, and now it is now the #1 bank. In the real property, early on he already dreamed to be the #1 property developer in the Philippines. When SM Investment went into public, we got $530 million US, and at that time, 2015, the biggest IPO, initial public offering, in the history of the Philippines. We travel around the world, selling the idea, selling the product of what is SM.
Up ahead, find out who was Henry Sy beyond office hours.
I said that, Sashi, it's good you can relax. Then he said me, what do you think I am relaxing? I am thinking what to do next.
Chinoy TV is brought to you by Oishi, Nation Paper Products and Printing Corporation, Japan Parts Trading Center, distributor of Koyo Automotive and Industrial Bearings, Megatech Fine Invitations, Mayor Photo, professional photo and video equipment, Federation of Electrical and Electronic Suppliers and Manufacturers of the Philippines Incorporated, Nang Family, Chua Bengteng, Enrique Chua, the Zen Institute. Now that we already have a glimpse of Henry Sy Sr.'s life story and how he became a magnate, the question is, who was he beyond all the accolades?
One time I saw him in his room looking at the ceiling, and then when I sit down with him in his table, I said, Sashi, it's good you can relax. And then he said, what do you think I am relaxing? When I'm sitting down and looking at the ceiling, I am thinking what to do next. I feel a heavy responsibility to the family of our employee. to the family of our tenants, to the family of our the suppliers, etc. He feel he cannot afford to fail. That's the moment that I always remember. He is a man that does not say bad thing to you. He does not shout, he does not get angry, etc. He talk softly to you. But then when you get out, you realize that he means something. You yourself will correct yourself, you know? So you don't get hurt. You know? So he is good at that, telling people, and then after that, you realize that something is wrong with you. His philosophy, he wants everybody who spent in the mall, every centavo should be worth the money that he spent. He would rather just make a profit of 10 pesos for a product and serve a million Filipinos than to have 100 pesos profit on that product and serve only 100,000 Filipinos. That's his philosophy. I make money, but I want to serve the Filipino people.
Henry Sy is a very private person, but if there's one person in the media whom he can open up with, is this man, Mr. Wilson Flores. So, Mr. Flores, who is Henry Sy Sr.?
He loved to cook. During his lifetime, he would go to the wet market personally and select the seafoods that he would be cooking. He not only knew how to cook well, he enjoyed eating. And whenever we had a chance to eat with Henry Sy, he would know what are the best dishes to order. He was a foodie. If he was not an entrepreneur, I think he would be a talented restaurant owner or a chef. One thing I could not forget, Mr. Henry Sy telling me, whatever he would want to go into, he always wanted to be number one. Even though he looked very humble, soft-spoken, like a mild-mannered guy, but he told me deep inside him, he is full of competitive spirit.
These simple little memories told by the people who closely worked with him made us meet a whole new person. Underneath all these, Henry Sy was a dreamer that many loved dearly, may it be inside or outside the office. He was the country's richest man to many, but he was just human, maybe a superhuman. Tatang also helped and inspired a lot of small businessmen in achieving their dreams. One of them is Mr. Jerry Tew, head of 9 different companies, including one mega group and Tagaytay Highlands Incorporated.
I met Mr. Henry Sy Sr. in my high school days. Yes, I was a classmate of Hans Sy, and we played in the volleyball team of Xavier School. And then, so at times I would go to his house and hitch a ride home. But it was more of a personal family relationship type. But later on, when we were in business, then it was more of a more formal thing. And he was amazing because he was really, really humble. Very few people that I've known is as humble as Mr. Sy. And he's extremely patient. And he's also so respectful of other people's opinion. He would always treat us as equals. He would always listen to us. He never raised his voice. He was a very good listener. And he spoke very, very politely to all of us. One time, maybe 20 years ago, we were chatting, and he asked me about my father, how my father was, etc. Then I was telling him how much time I spent with my father every day. That I would see my father in the morning, I come back and see him in the evening, and then this and that, so at least twice a day. So I think the friendship goes deeper than just a business relationship.
He is probably one of the closest businessmen to Tatang. Being a friend of Tatang's son, Hans Sy is not a plus factor. Jerry needs to prove that he is worthy to become a partner for Tagaytay Highlands.
When we were not managing Tagaytay Highlands, the management was not under us yet at that time. And we had to take over management. So we were so surprised to see so many problems, and which we never knew beforehand. And so we went to Mr. Sy for help. And Mr. Sy agreed, but it took time because he had to study and know the details. He would never do anything blindly. So we would have to report everything and discuss every matter to him. The first day that he came to visit us there, we were also excited, me and my management team. This is Tagaytay Highlands. We all welcomed him at the entrance, and we met him there. So when he came in, I spoke to him loudly and I said, Mr. C, thank you for coming. Please show us the way. And you know how he responded? He said, no, we all hold hands together and we walk together. He was the white knight of Tagaytay Highlands, no? And we're very happy. And we're more happy now that we're doing so well with the SM Group behind us, providing all the backroom support. It's not only the financial help that he brought in, it was also the culture and the way he dealt with people.
When we come back, meet other successful businessmen who were galvanized by Henry C. Sr.'s life story.
Chinoy TV is brought to you by
Oishi, Australia Harvest Oats, Doña Maria Premium Quality Rice,
陈子霞、吴仲正、
Nation Paper Products and Printing Corporation, Japan Parts Trading Center, distributor of Koyo Automotive and Industrial Bearings, Doña Maria Premium Quality Rice,
BA Securities, your trading partner in Asia Pacific.
He is more than an inspiration. He is an icon. But for these men, having the opportunity to meet and work closely with Tatang is more than privilege. It's a life-changing experience. First, we have John Lu Koa, the Chief Executive Officer of the French Baker Incorporated. He started out as a bakery cafe, and Henry C. Sr. gave a priceless business perspective and a chance for French Baker to rise above the competition.
Well, French Baker started with Mr. Henry C. Sr. He literally handpicked me out of the crowd. Actually, he and my father were very good friends from post-war Philippines. And we supplied to them bread in the supermarket, SM Supermarket. And when he was building the first major mall at the SM North EDSA Annex, he asked that I be invited to come in and explore possibilities. That was in 1989. This year it will be 30 years since my first store opening with Tatang Henry Sy. So he saw in me hope, he saw in me youthful passion, he saw in me also knowledge. Remember, when he met me, I was already teaching at the UP College of Business Administration for already 9 years. So the things that I espoused, the things that I talked to him about, the things he heard about me, could probably have been due to my former life as an academic. He would catch me, he would always leave me with a small feedback. At some point he said, I see you're growing very fast, so if you need credit line, let me know. I can help you. He is a very perceptive person. I think he could feel what I was feeling. He could sense what I needed. I think he always thinks about me whenever he had a personal hand in creating the strategy of the mall. Always French Baker, here, lagi kami yung first choice. And that is just simply because he told me, you seem to do a very good job. One of the most important lessons I learned from Tata was that you can always shy away from one fight and you can come back another day. He had his setbacks too. I think one thing I learned from them was that the family unity is very important. So when you have temporary setback, don't lose heart. And then if you have the family around you, you're blessed with children and brothers, sisters, take advantage because you share the same DNA.
Tatang loved their soup, and that's why they were encouraged to open a store at the SM City North EDSA food court. The business grew and became a chain of restaurants under Foodie Global Concepts. Ricky D is very thankful for more than 30 years of partnership with Tatang.
We actually started with a restaurant called Chin Chin when I was maybe 23 years old. He has a favorite dish in our place, the fish and noodle soup. In Chinese, we call it mi. He loves that food. He comes in maybe twice a month. And he was always apologetic of coming in too late. And for us, me and my wife at that time, waiting for him to close the stores. I said, oh, you're a very hard-working guy. Would you like to join me in SM North EDSA, my first mall? I said, we'd love to, except that there's a problem, Sissy. It's hard to get into that mall. I said, no, don't worry. Come to my office. So he brought us there and introduced us to the fast food industry. We were looking for growth areas, and I think we fulfill ourselves already in the food court arena. So we migrated to restaurants, we migrated to resto bars, we did franchising out. So I think we went around the whole facet of the food industry. I'm more than grateful to the Sy family. I think we've gone to this level because of their support. Mr. Henry Sy Sr., in fact, gave me my biggest break in the food industry.
Lastly, we have Giselda C., founder and president of Ever Belena Cosmetics. As a young adult, Tatang shared to him tips on how to succeed in business, and until now, he lives by that code.
The first time I met Henry Sy was in 79 or 1980 when I was still in college. I met him in a cafe LSE. I was with my friends. He was talking with another friend of mine. Then, out of nowhere, he just said, "Are you guys busy?" I said, "We're okay." So he invited us to his office. So when we went there, the first thing I noticed in his office was a preserved eagle with a spotlight. Then right then and there, I asked him, "Mr. Sy, why do we have this eagle?" He said, "You know, I love the eagle. They fly high, and then when they glide, they can see everything. And then we can see a prey down there. They dive, then they fly back again. So that means when he sees any opportunity, he really dives for it." When I was starting, it's pretty hard up. You know how I market Ever Belena? I mimeograph Ever Belena Lempa is available at SM. It was one Sunday morning in Shumart, Makati. I was giving leaflets to those people entering. Out of nowhere, I saw Henry Sy looking at me. And I was so scared because I thought he's gonna scold me. So he approached me. Then I was really nervous. Then said, "That's good. Keep it up. Continue the good work." I felt he's even encouraging me to do more. I think the first break I got was from his son, Hardy Sy, in the department store. Especially, I remember the first store that Harley gave me was the one in North EDSA. He gave me half shelves, and he said, "Can you do 20,000 a week?" I said, I take the challenge. So he allowed me to do it. What other country can you find that a local retailer is better than the international players? It's only the Philippines, where SM is number one, and you don't see any foreign retailer competing. So that's what I learned from him, and we Filipinos should be proud that we have a Henry Sy in our Philippine retail business.
Henry Sy Sr. touched the lives of these people. He is a blueprint of success, and he wanted to share this gift to everyone. Hard work, integrity, and passion are clearly the secrets to success. But to Tatang, it's more than being successful. It's about making a difference.
And I was an office clerk. Every day is a fun day, and working is happy. That's why I'm happy and I stayed with them.